Bernard, Perlita, we've already figured that who did. Okay, like I said, there's only maybe a handful of us alive in the world, like 3 of us, that may understand my condition. For one, I already proved who it was. You guys stole the shit from me and my dad and some other people, simply by your behavior and how it's replicated. They've caught you people at this before. This is not my first rodeo, Perlita. There's a procedure, there's a process, depending on where you live. You know, they don't just some places hand you computers and stuff and just make it work. Some people know, you know, in certain countries, they manufacture things differently. If you look at labels, point is, Bernardo the Faggot Chance, they know you're a con artist and thief. Because simply, you either want to follow directions or you don't. Depending, if you want help from other nations, you're at war with Bernard. How do you think you're going to get help if you want their knowledge? By shoveling another missile in their face? Your first step in getting that knowledge from other people who are foreign, Bernard, is when they're in your own nation, is how you treat them. Okay? So, if you acquire something that's foreign from a foreign family, and you don't know what you're doing with it, and it's a mess in the nation that you claim to run, well, that's a first sign right there, Bernard. Trust me, Bernard. Those 2 men, they exist. There's some other ones too. Trust me, Bernard. There were families that worked to being something out here. You had a choice. Okay? Now you're not going to know all the history behind it, but there's a large history out here, Bernard. Trust me. Well, some of it good, some of it angry. Okay? Trust me, Bernard. If my grandfather did something wrong, if Joe Zillig did something wrong, I'm not on his side for it. Because I know there's other stuff out there. I just know there's some ideals that people tried to set in, and then they constantly had to have bang their heads up against the wall. At one point where a lot of people wanted to work together to make something happen, and then to another point where there was a massive problem. Bernard, Perlita, I'm going to tell you something. Proving it for me isn't going to make me love you. It's not going to make you a hero. Because there are people who proved it before you. And that's all they've ever done after a certain point. It doesn't mean that it was my reality, Perlita and Bernard. So who cares what you're trying to prove for me? Because even if you did, I'm going to say no, it belongs to senior authoritative power in your community. Because I'm not trying to sit on a fucking throne, Perlita, or claim a royal color that isn't mine. I want to be a part of it, but I don't want to take something that's not mine. Just because I've had incidents in my past, Perlita and Bernard, doesn't mean that I don't have a conscience. I like to know if things were different in the world, then I want to be able to prove, and that's what we're doing out here, that reality would exist. Now, is it formulating? No, but there are ways. Like I said, there once was a blackout here. A lot of people wanted to be a part of it, but they couldn't. They helped create it, and there are ways to prove that it's there and to leave, help people in the future get to it. Bernard, doesn't mean I'm going to be the one. No, you help a process move forward. Who cares about what your proof is? I know it exists out here now, Bernard. I know I could die now. Too bad, so sad. You guys don't know what it means. But it's basically all sex-filled for you guys. Is how Terry and them always have done it. But that's not the real thing, Bernard. Because if you guys were, you'd already be, and it would have never have exited. All you do out here, Perlita, like you guys have always done, is the same thing. Kill your friends. You have a man running around doing your dirty work for you, Bernard, professing to be something, and he'll never be it, even if he gets it. And that's all that guy's ever done. Good luck. Because he pretty much killed all of his friends and his help a long time ago for living ideals and stuff that never worked, Bernard. So, good luck. But that's why the world sucks. So you can prove whatever you want, Perlita, but you and Bernard already know. And they do the same thing all the time to steal more shit, to set it up, to only watch it fail, and re-torture because, they were once a part of something great, but were, tore it all apart. And they work in this ideal, like, well, if we do it like this, it'll come back and we're saving the earth. No, they're not. They think it's their way to, create. And, well, you have your answer all around, Bernard. They take snapshots of it all the time. Because they found out it's the same hillbilly hick family that ruined everything anyway. And there's stuff, like I said, Bernard, in Aurora I paid attention to that I still remember to this day. That proved that the group of you are full of shit. So, good luck, because that's the way you always will be.